All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Rose Motion TV podcast. I'm your host, Malik, aka Malachi Motion, and today we have Toronto-based media creative Spoken. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. How you doing? Thanks for having me.
I'm pretty good. You know, this one's actually pretty crazy because we just met realistically like a week ago.
I know. And now we're having an interview, and we shot your show today, main stage Escapade.
All
Rose
right.
Motion TV, let's get it.
So, when I was looking at a lot of your media and your shots that you take, I can tell that you're a music lover.
You know, man, I feel like since I was young, I've always been obsessed with music. I've been obsessed with music videos, YouTube, everything you can imagine that has to do with music. And I feel like because of that, being able to find a source to get me in the door of music without being able to sing, because secret, don't tell anyone, I actually can't sing. So this was my way to kind of like get into the music industry. It kind of led me to, being able to, create media. I also manage artists as well. And there's just been, it was just my way in the door. And I think it wasn't planned. It wasn't something that I ever like dreamed of as a kid. I actually just dreamed of being a police officer, which is so random and far-fetched from what I'm doing now.
Rewind.
Yeah.
So
You're actually under arrest for being smart.
why?
Why are you under
Like
arrest?
what? No, what drove you? Like honestly, like what drove you to wanting to be like a police officer?
You know what, dude? Growing up, my family has been like they're all cops, and I just thought it was like super cool when I was younger. And then I grew up and I realized I actually do not like strict stuff. I'm very like raw, edgy. I don't like to be told what to do. I don't want to tell anyone what to do. I'm an artist at heart, and I just wanted to do something that allowed me to live a life that was free. I could do what I want when I want it, and also create dope shit for everyone around me.
So, did it start with photo or video? Like, what kind of started your media journey?
Dude, you know what? It's the most random story. I picked up a camera when I was like, I don't know, like, I don't even know how long ago it's been. Uh, an ex of mine was, had a dad that was a photographer, and I borrowed one of his cameras, went to New York for a trip. I started taking photos. They were really cool. And I was like, wow, this is really fun. So then I created an account. Everyone started laughing at me, like, what is spoken without words, huh? So lame. Then later down the line, I just, started pushing it a little bit more and more. Actually, growing up, I was a competitive athlete. I boxed for Canada, boxing Ontario. And this was, it took me, getting my foot in the door with media to realize, wow, like, I don't want to be in a serious life of like strict diets, 5-6 days a week of training. I don't want to do anything that holds me back. I want to do something that I could literally just be free because I'm a free person.
Hell yeah! Do you remember what that camera was that you started on?
It was like a Nikon something. I don't even remember. Nothing against Nikon, but just it was a Nikon something. I don't know.
Actually, the B camera that we shoot the podcast back in Calgary is a Nikon
I love Nikon. It's my
D3200 or whatever. So you're just shitting on our whole podcast.
No. Honestly, I love Nikon. I was just testing you guys to see what you guys shot with.
Would you say you're more photo or video? I know you do both, but like, where was your love started? Was it photo?
I think I started with photo just because I didn't know that video could even be an option. But when I started, transitioning over to the video world, I think I have a lot more fun doing it because I like storytelling and I like to talk. So because of that, I think being able to be a videographer and being able to tell a story with visuals was something that was super important to me. Whereas you can tell a story with photo, which is super dope, but there's something that gets me high off of video work. And I think that that's where my heart definitely lays. And you can do so much more with it. Whereas like photography, I don't know, video for sure.
With video, when is a video done?
Man, that's a crazy question.
Right?
I don't even think anyone knows when a video is done. It's all perspective. At the end of the day, it's like, as videographers, not only do we always critique our work, we always go back and forth on our projects and question it. And, when we have really fun clients who want a million revisions, we end up doing it a million times. But at the end of the day, I think that it's never really done. I think it just comes down to, feeling good about it in that moment. And that's a question I can't really even fully answer.
Like when you're filming for somebody, how important is what like your artistic vision compared to their artistic vision or whatever they want? How do you balance the two?
I think when it comes to video, you have to actually have a true connection with the artist or with the brand or with whoever you're working with. Because when you have that true connection, it comes seamlessly. And when it comes seamlessly, the content's going to be the best. If you're going there just to get like a few extra bucks, or you're going there just because you want to film some stuff, you have no actual connection with who you're shooting or what you're shooting, the content's never gonna be the best it could possibly be. So I think it comes down to connection, and if you guys have a good connection, you guys will mesh, and it will be on both sides will be happy.
Hell yeah. So when you're shooting for somebody like Avira or like these other, you were just telling me today about how you're shooting in like Miami and all these crazy things. How do you kind of decide what you're even going to shoot? Because it's a lot of hectic energy. There's lights, there's people going crazy. Like, how do you even know what you're going to do when you go there?
I don't know.
You just kind of freestyle it?
I think honestly, I don't like rules. I don't like having any baseline of anything. I like just going. And even when I learned how to do media, I never went to school for it. I never took any classes. I literally just watched YouTube till 6 in the morning every single day. I threw myself in the wild, and every time I throw myself in the wild, I always come back with food.
Do you have to go into a different mind for video as opposed to photo?
Yeah, I think with video you have to definitely go in a more storytelling energy.
Yeah.
Whereas with photo, it's kind of just, I don't know. I'm not. I know photographers are not gonna like hearing this, but sometimes you just gotta shoot your shot, and sometimes you get it, and
You know,
sometimes you don't.
one thing that I do notice is that, like I've obviously worked with a bunch of different photographers and media people, and a lot of photographers or media people, they kind of look for the technical aspect, and I kind of relate it to like music. So it's like you can have like a perfect mix or a perfect balance of colors, but a lot of times what people actually want to watch is just like the pure content. They kind of miss the actual artistry kind of happening behind the scenes.
Yeah, I totally get what you're saying. I don't really know how to answer it because, to be honest with you, going back on what I said earlier, like I do not plan anything. I don't plan my shots. I don't go in there with any sort of game plan. I just go and you know what, like, not trying to be confident, but I feel like I always do get the shot because I'm naturally intrigued by the environment. I'm stoked to be here, and I only take jobs that I actually love and connect with. So because of that, I'm able to be in that energy and just love it.
Oh yeah.
And then the best shots just come.
And then you brought up being a manager. What kind of is it? Just that you have like unlimited creative energy and you just want to diversify, or like is there something pulling you into that direction?
I really do think that, like, when I got into artist management, it was really about just being involved in music without everyone hearing my voice. They get to hear my voice, but they don't get to hear me sing. As an artist, you're a brand, and I love building something from scratch and being able to share with the world. And I think that's the reason why I got into artist management, because I got to be able to be in the artist world without having to have people run away from my singing.
And how is it kind of dealing with the artist's mind? Because like you're saying, when you're the artist, when you're the person like creating the media, you're just doing your thing. You're kind of scatterbrained. Like all of us as artists, we're kind of all over the place. But as the manager, I feel like you have to add that more analytical side. So kind of how do you balance the two?
I think it's the perfect balance. I think with my video world, I can be very like free and just go about and have fun with it and enjoy it. Whereas the management side, I get to actually dig deep and utilize my brain and think, come up with like plans and ideas on how I can either build an artist or how I can utilize the artist and put him in front of the right people and put them in the right position to win. And at the end of the day, if they're winning, I'm winning. If they're happy, I'm happy. And I think that's how it comes with artist management. One of the best advice I've ever heard in the sense of artist management is that it's not the music industry, it's the networking industry. So being a good manager, I think all comes down to just being able to network with the right people so that you can set your artists up and your team up in to be in the right position to win.
No, I totally feel that. I mean, it's a team thing, right? Like you gotta. I find that you can easily have somebody who's just like, if you have one person on your team that's just not down, it can throw off everything.
Yeah, man, that's where connection comes in, right? You don't want to have anyone on your team that's not, in sync with you and in sync with your mindset. And going back on being kind of free, I like to make sure that my team feels like their family. And it's always been a family sport. It's not about you do this, you do that. No one's above anyone, no one's below everyone. Everyone is kind of on the same level, and we're all here with the same goal, and the goal is to win.
So I'm kind of wondering, back to like the media aspect. We'll start with photo. How long does something like that take, like from start to finish of a photo?
It really depends.
Yeah.
I think in the creative world, and I'm sure you can understand as a DJ, sometimes your songs can come out in 10 minutes and the idea just flows. And sometimes it could take you days or weeks to finish a record that you're really passionate about. I think it's the same with photos. Some photos just come out, super quick and smooth, and some photos take a little bit more effort and energy. And I just think it's situational.
Hell yeah. Were there any like effects where it was kind of like a aha moment where it's like it wasn't working for a long time and then you're like, bam, now I can do it?
Over editing. And I don't mean over masking like how I was just saying I was doing. I find that if a photo is over edited, it looks cheap. I think the best way to create a dope photo is to create something that is edited clean but still looks decently natural, but in a very luxury way, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Where it's like some people will edit their photos with too much filter or add a preset and then they don't tweak anything to it. And then what happens is the photo looks cheap, or it looks just like it just doesn't look real, and then people can tell and they're just not interested in it. Whereas like if you can kind of master the effect of being, having a photo that looks natural but in a really cool way, you know, almost just a heightened natural photo.
And then, so if an artist wants, because we do a lot of stuff where it's like you post it on the Instagram or whatever, and it kind of degrades the quality. Do you kind of have like maybe different settings or different kind of vibe if you're going for, I guess, a different application? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think definitely you do. Again, everything's situational in the art world, especially the photography world. But yeah, I would definitely say that, for Instagram, you definitely have to edit it sometimes a little bit different because it does crop in, and everything's situational.
How annoying are the Instagram updates?
Dude, Instagram's so annoying. If I did not use social media for life and for business and to like take over the world, I literally would not have a phone. I hate the phone.
I have to agree, man. Jamie agrees as well. So
Yeah,
everybody agrees.
it's a blessing and a curse. I think with Instagram and social media, we're very lucky to have a platform that we can put our work out there. And I'm sure you agree, as an artist, you're able to put your work out there, and somewhere else in the world or somewhere else in your city can kind of see your work without having. Back in the day, you would have to go pay to have a commercial or pay to have someone play your music or do this. Whereas now it's like I can literally post photos, I can post videos, I can do a lot of really cool things on social media and attract people from all over the world, and that can create me, success down the line. But if I didn't have that and it had nothing to do with social media, I would not be on it because it drives me nuts.
What do you think you'd be like? Like, what kind of, I guess, deliverables would you be giving people? Like, where would your stuff be seen if there was no social media?
I don't know. I'd probably just go meditate in the jungle and never talk to anyone.
Straight up. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, dude, join me. You want to go to Costa Rica?
Yes,
Let's go.
always want to go to Costa Rica.
100%. Me too.
How important is, like, when it comes to relationships, having somebody that can be supportive with your media? Because we know that, like, you could be in a relationship where somebody doesn't get what you're doing and it can kind of derail everything. So how important is it to find the right person that supports the vision?
I think at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's relationships with a lover or relationships with friends. At the end of the day, everyone needs to be on board with kind of like the lifestyle that you live. Especially being an artist, you're all over the place. Your life is not 9 to 5. Your life is not it's not one way. It's always going up and down and the highs and lows. You need to be surrounded by people that can understand and feel good about the highs and lows of life. It's not always life isn't always cool. On social media, life looks amazing all the time, but we're all human beings. And I think at the end of the day, having someone that understands that we're going to go through those lows and it's not always going to be perfect, or our life's not going to be easy, I think that's where we all yeah, you know what I mean.
Hell yeah, well said. Well, wrap it up by talking about Escapade. How long have you been going to this festival?
Dude, it's only my second time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this festival is pretty cool. I mean, this is my first time playing any shows, really. Or yesterday, Rose Motion played a show, but this is kind of like my first festival out here.
How did you like it?
It was cool. It's muggy as hell.
What's the highs and lows of today?
I think I guess if I had to pick a low, it would just be being tired in the morning, just from DJing till like getting home at like 5. Well spoken. Thanks for coming on. Is there anything that you want to say or anybody you want to shout out before we head out today?
Honestly, shout out to the hardworking artists out there. It doesn't matter if you're doing media, if you're making music, or you're just making art in general. It's a really tough world. It can really mentally drain you in so many different aspects. So if you can wake up every day and stay committed to the vision, keep doing what you want to be free, I think that you're already winning.
Oh yeah, well thanks for tapping in, bro.
Thank you for tapping in, bro.
Yeah, likewise.
Appreciate you, bro.
All
Rose
right.
Motion TV, let's get it. Monster, I'm
Hey.
still waiting for that sponsorship.